Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you again for coming on to Startup Talks for another episode. Today we have Usama Arjumand. He's the co-founder and CEO of shopsy.pk, a marketplace sort of like a Google for all the retailers in Pakistan, especially digital retailers. The buying habits and consumer behavior has shifted quite a bit. Yesterday's session was along the same lines. It was about giving to the community. Today is about retail and how it has shifted. So, Sama, thank you very much for coming on to Startup Talks. How are you doing?
Gee, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great, and I hope you and the audience is also doing well in these times.
चलो ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच। तो सामा क्या हो रहा है यार, ये शॉपसी तो काफ़ी अरसे से है, 2016 से आई बिलीव इट्स बिन देयर। व्हाट्स शॉपसी ऑल अबाउट मैन?
Yes, the story is that I returned back to Pakistan in 2016, और जब मैं वापस आया तो I wasn't very happy with my shopping experience, my online shopping experience in Pakistan. Over there, I was used to shopping on Amazon and lots of other online stores, which had a wonderful experience, but you couldn't get that same experience in Pakistan. So Shopsy was essentially born out of my own need to create a better online shopping experience in Pakistan. और हमने फिर उसके ऊपर काम स्टार्ट किया था, but it was a sort of a side gig, part-time thing for a long time. तो 2016 में फिर मैंने एक टीम बनाई, and then we kind of launched the product so early 2017 and started working on it. But we really switched full time to Shopsy in 2019. So उस तरह से Shopsy is sort of like a 2-year-old venture which we've been working on full time. And that's essentially how it was born. It was born out of our own need to find a better place to shop online.
I see that you've been a serial entrepreneur back in the UK as well. You founded Solar Linker and Artorca. You've been deep into the startup space for quite some time then. How's the shift like starting something in Pakistan? Because I've lived in UK myself, a big market difference. How was the experience?
Huge difference. Huge difference. And yes, so I've actually had 4 sort of previous ventures, 2 of which you mentioned. So Artworker was a global marketplace for art, where any artist could sell their artwork to over 200 countries in the world. And then Solar Linker was a solar panel price comparison site where any customer in the UK could go and enter the postcode. We would do a radius search, show them installers within the radius, and then they could get 3 quotes for their solar panel installation, right? So that was the Solar Linker platform. Uske alawa, we've got one of the largest private art galleries in Islamabad by the name of Gallery 6. So we've even had the President of Pakistan inaugurate our exhibitions there, the Arjumand Painting Award, which we do every 2 years. So that's another venture of mine, along with my father. And then finally, it's shopsy.pk. So मैं कहूँगा कि जो आपका पाकिस्तान का स्टार्टअप कल्चर था और जो यूके का स्टार्टअप कल्चर था, बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क था. But that difference has certainly decreased over time. So even 2 years back, raising money was a huge challenge. Finding co-founders was a huge challenge because people did not have that sort of startup frame of mind. Lekin even just this year, I think the whole equation has changed, and we can see the startup ecosystem growing significantly. So very, very happy to see the changes that are coming to Pakistan. I think it's only going to gain momentum from here. So excited about the future.
Okay, that's great. I also see that you are fond of establishing marketplaces in the UK as well. You were sort of making an aggregator for solar panels and other stuff. Here, you are also doing the same thing. Is that a kind of like a passion, or you are fascinated by Amazon?
So I think I like the idea of platforms. I like the idea of connecting people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that platforms can achieve a scale which other businesses can struggle to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So platforms tend to be very scalable, and then platforms also have to often solve a chicken and egg problem, which I've always been fascinated with, and which I've been solving for over a decade now, really.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great observation, actually. So I have built a lot of platforms. Actually, even for Gallery 6,
Yeah.
we have a platform for Gallery 6 as well, where Pakistani artists can actually upload their work and sell to art collectors anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got one of the largest collections of Pakistani art in the world at the moment, with
Okay.
over 1,000 artworks on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that that's also a platform essentially, and they do fascinate me. I think they excite me. I find them interesting, so that's why I work on them.
All right. So, coming on to Shopsy now, what's Shopsy all about? I see you've got 250 plus stores on the platform. How does the
That's right.
model work? Are you just uh, any marketplace like Amazon, or are you trying to be the Google for retailers?
Yeah, I think that's probably a better example. Building a Google for shopping in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, I said when I returned back to Pakistan, I just didn't have a great experience shopping online, and one of the reasons was
Mm-hmm.
that you couldn't really find the product you were looking for. तो जो चीज़ आप ढूंढ रहे होते थे वो आपको मिलती नहीं थी. Inventory stores की बहुत छोटी छोटी थी, and that's still the case today. So there are many online stores, but they tend to have smaller inventories, or they're confined to certain categories. And the idea of Shopsy was, okay, why don't we aggregate the inventories of all of these trusted and official online stores in Pakistan,
Mm-hmm.
and give online shoppers a huge selection of products, right? So Shopsy currently has over 6.5 million products in our historic search index,
Mm-hmm.
from over 250 online stores in Pakistan. So they're actually close to 300 online stores in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what we wanted to do was to build a search engine for online shopping. तो हमने स्टार्ट आउट जब किया, we started out as a pure search engine जहाँ हम redirect करते थे users को
Yeah.
to purchase the product then on the end site, and then we sort of also changed over time, and now we do transactions on Shopsy as well. So end to end customer search भी कर सकते हैं product, और फिर वो मुख्तलिफ online stores से अपने उन products को cart पे add करके they can also check out.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes us very unique now, because we're sort of a search engine that you can actually transact on as well. So that makes us very unique. But recently we've launched this feature of influencer stores and influencer marketing,
Yeah.
where influencers can join shops and sell any product in our inventory and earn commission on sale.
Mm-hmm.
So this is essentially a universal affiliate program or universal influencer program,
Mm-hmm.
where influencers can just join and sell products from any store in Pakistan. Eventually, that's the goal, and earn commission on sales. So this is great for our partner stores, influencers, and also the platform, which is Shopsy.
Yeah, influencer marketing has actually is catching on quite quickly in Pakistan.
Yes.
I was uh, intrigued actually to see Shopsy on the platform that you've collaborated with other e-commerce platforms as well, like Telemart. I saw a product from Daraz too. So, is there a long list of coordination between other e-commerce places, or this is like a one-off thing? And do you cater to deliveries either for them or for individual shop owners? Like if I have a shop on Shopsy, right? Or do you cater to deliveries yourself, or is it their headache?
जी, so we do have a long list of stores on Shopsy, and हम essentially हर online store को as a partner देखते हैं पाकिस्तान में, और हम चाहते भी यही हैं कि over time ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा online stores आए, and every online store that enters the market is essentially a potential partner for Shopsy, right?
Mhm.
So we actually view offline retail as competition, and online retailers as partners to Shopsy. And it does sort of sometimes confuse people, okay, or marketplaces that we approach. They say, well, we are also a marketplace. But we say, well, that's the beauty of Shopsy. You're actually an online marketplace or online store. You have a place on Shopsy. And हमारा जो purpose है, that's driving customers and sales to online stores and marketplaces in Pakistan. That's what we do. That's what we're built for. और उसकी खूबसूरती ये है कि there is absolutely no change required to the workflow of our online store partners. So everything carries on exactly the way it does. They fulfill the products. They take order confirmation calls, and they take returns, and they handle all of the operations as they do. We do not want them to modify the workflow. And we just want to fit in and drive more customers and sales to our partner stores. So every customer of Shopsy is a customer for partner store. Because those customer details are also available to view in their systems.
Yeah.
And as we grow, essentially the entire ecosystem of Pakistan grows along with us, because we have a very strong top-down effect. So any benefit that we drive is passed on to all of our partner stores.
Okay. So correct me here if I'm wrong. There must be a marketing expense element to it, because if I've got a store, my own online store, and I've got some marketing expense, so a bit of it falls under Shopsy's ambit as well. Am I correct?
So are you talking about sort of how we monetize with our partner stores?
No, obviously you must have some structure how to monetize it, but uh, when you are marketing for Shopsy, right? So
Yeah,
in other terms, you are marketing for those 300 plus stores as well,
that's right. Yes,
right?
yes. So that's a good point as well.
Right.
Essentially, Shopsy is a collection of stores,
Yeah.
and when we market ourselves, we actually market our online stores, because that is what Shopsy is. It's a collection of stores. बल्कि हमने अभी recently कुछ brand campaigns भी run किए हैं. We're running lots of video campaigns on Instagram and YouTube and other social networks. And in all of those videos, we highlight our partner stores. So we actually display the names and the logos, because that is the strength of Shopsy, and essentially that's who we are, right? So हमारे marketing campaigns में भी हमारे online stores को फायदा होता है.
Okay. And does it have a ranking system like Amazon? Because there's so much competition even on your marketplace.
Yeah.
So is there a system? Is there any AI involved at any stage?
Absolutely. So that is actually the core of the product. Our search is actually the heart of the product, and it uses multiple layers of artificial intelligence to actually understand what a product is. Because just imagine you bringing in products, 6.5 million products from 300 online stores. You have to have some way of understanding what these products are. And all of these products are categorized differently in all of these stores. They're called by different names, right? So you have to have artificial intelligence to actually understand what these products are. And we've actually created some cutting edge technology inside Shopsy to understand what these products are and how they're all related to each other, how they're connected. Because if we cannot understand our product data, we cannot serve users, and we cannot serve their user intent, right? So सबसे पहले artificial आपका intelligence का layer यहाँ आ जाता है, and then after that, when search queries are entered into Shopsy, हमें उनको समझना और फिर उनको correct result set serve करना, और उसके अलावा उस particular user का जो preference है, जो personalization है, उसको समझना. So there are many layers into our search. It uses a lot of mathematics, statistics, and machine learning to actually deliver the results that we do. And then there are other things like, of course, certain business parameters that we have and stuff. So a lot goes into our search results.
And the pandemic, how did it affect you? Was
Right.
it
So
good?
the effect of the pandemic was very interesting, obviously, because it has really accelerated the digitization of things.
Yeah.
And what we saw was we did a study and we looked at search terms on Google. So shopping related search terms on Google.
Mm-hmm.
And what we discovered in the first peak was there was a 50% increase in shopping search queries.
Yeah.
So 50% increase within a short period of time is a huge increment, right? It's a lot, it's tremendous acceleration. Um, and then as the first peak calmed down, we saw these shopping search queries also go down, but then they went up again. And the growth curve is exponential. So shopping interest in the country is increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Shopping platforms are also growing. So we're seeing more and more e-commerce platforms come. Uh, in fact, a very interesting change that happened in the pandemic was many offline stores started coming online.
Yeah.
आपके बहुत सारे यहाँ शहरों में appliances के stores होते हैं, बहुत सारे मुख्तलिफ brands के stores होते हैं. All of these guys started coming online as well and started building online stores. Another thing we've seen is that almost every brand in the country now, whether it's a fashion brand or an appliance brand, uh, they all have online presence now. They all have an online store, which wasn't the case even a couple of years back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because offline was the game then.
Yeah.
So I think in general, everybody realizes that online is the future. Everybody's adapting to it, and there's a huge surge of e-commerce activity that's taking place. So it's certainly gaining momentum, and I think we're in a great position to sort of take this momentum forward.
Okay, now coming on to the competition, this particular bit may have more than one aspect to it, right? Because a lot of people they reach out to me for questions, for mentoring and that kind of stuff. Not only me, I mean anybody who's associated with the ecosystem, right? It's a very common practice. There's a lot of rush for inquiries at incubation centers too. Now, when you guys started, there was somebody, I just remembered back then, who had something like e-store.pk, but I don't think that worked out. But looking at this and looking at the change that's coming on, you've got Dukan now digitizing small shop owners. There are lots of other players doing different things, maybe just a notch different to what you are doing, right? You've even in the B2B space or the B2C space, you've got BNPL also coming on, especially with the KistPay. They've also got stores on access to sort of like a BNPL marketplace they've established, right? So
Right.
how does Shopsy position itself among the growing competition, and will it continue to have the edge it had uh, for the past 3-4 years, or is it totally different what it's doing than to what they are doing?
Yeah. So I think that's a great question, and the question is really regarding where we see ourselves in the whole sort of ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, we're extremely excited about all of these activities taking place. We're excited about small businesses coming online, whether that's through Dukan or Fishery or Chiku or WebEx, because the more people that come online, the larger the ecosystem grows, right?
Yes.
फिर उसके अलावा you've got buy now pay later. That's also great because that is going to bring more online shoppers to the ecosystem. It's also going to increase debit card and credit card usage in Pakistan, which is great for e-commerce. So we love that as well. Buy now pay later as well. And then you've got online stores. You've got niche online stores that are also raising capital,
Mm-hmm.
which is also great because I think niche stores and category stores are very important to the overall ecosystem in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually excited about all of these changes that are coming, and we genuinely view everybody as partners, right? Everybody is a partner to Shopsy because eventually, whether you're running WebEx or Fishery or Dukan, all of these online stores have a potential place to sell their products on Shopsy. right? Because we're a search engine, it's a great place for people to find products. And that means it's a great place to find products from Dukan, from WebEx, from Fishy, from Chico, all of these places. So that's what we do. And on the other hand, we help online stores drive revenue and customers, right? So that's a place where all of these online stores or selling tools can actually gain customers.
Yeah.
So it's a great platform for them to be on as well. So I do think that this change that has started taking place is going to keep gaining momentum. We're going to see even more innovations happen in the country, and there's so much room for innovation as well. So we welcome innovations of all kinds in e-commerce, and we want to essentially beat offline. That's what we want. We want to gain offline market share.
Yeah.
So as long as the e-commerce pie keeps growing, everybody in the ecosystem is going to continue to keep growing. I do feel that this growth is going to be unstoppable, as it has been in all of these different countries. That has been the trend. I don't think Pakistan will be any different. What I do want more focus on is high quality stores. So एक जो बहुत बड़ा मसला रहा है हमारा e-commerce का, वो ये रहा है कि कस्टमर सर्विस के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस नहीं रहा है, selling genuine products उनके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस नहीं रहा है. We still get many applications from stores that sell replica products. आपके सबसे popular होता है AirPods Pro. That's probably one of the first products we search for in all of these stores to check whether they sell genuine products or not. And then they sell replica cosmetics and replica this and that. Yeah. What happens is जैसे ही कोई customer एक replica product देता है, उसके उस store के genuine products से भी एतमाद उड़ जाता है. And that is why it's extremely important not to sell all of these replica products. So we're extremely careful about adding stores to Shopsy. उनकी बहुत strong vetting होती है. We look at their inventory, their customer service, their delivery times before we add them. Or I feel that this is the quality standard that has to be maintained moving forward. अगर आपको customer trust बाकी ही जीतना है, जो इस वक्त exist नहीं करता market में, तो आपको ये सारी चीजें करनी होंगी. और इसी के बाद आपके जो confidence है consumers का, वो create होगा, वो grow करेगा. So that is what I really want to focus on moving forward, and I hope all of these entities that are working in the ecosystem can come together and focus on this. Okay, let's build customer confidence. जब कोई online खरीदे तो वो ये ना सोचे यार, will I get this item delivered? Will it be genuine? What will happen if it doesn't work? Will I be able to return it? ये सारे सवाल नहीं आने चाहिए एक online consumer के mind में जब वो कुछ purchase करे online. So that is what we have to really change, I think.
Okay. Now it's good that you've got payment systems integrated. You're moving away from just cash on delivery, which is a good thing actually for most stores who don't have any sort of payment system integration. So any plans on BNPL then? Do you because eventually what's going to happen is the more the number of players and the more stores that come online, so the bigger fish is going to eat the smaller fish, right? So there's bound to be some mergers or acquisitions down the road. And by the looks of it, BNPL is probably going to be a trump card for most of these marketplaces. Any plans on that?
Yes, so I think the biggest issues that we face with prepayment options, jahan Shopsy is collecting the money and then dispersing it to partner stores, is first there's a certain GST now liable on marketplaces which are receiving payments and dispersing payments.
Yeah.
So once we start getting into that, we start becoming liable for these taxes, where we're essentially really a marketing platform. We're not really a marketplace. So that's a very important distinguishing factor. इसलिए हमें उसको consider करना बहुत important होता है. We prefer that our online stores keep receiving payments so that we don't have to get involved in that sort of mess. And I feel that abhi there are certain payment platforms that are going to be providing these sort of payment solutions in the future, where we can sort of chain payments and get get payments split into different entities in a single transaction. So we're waiting for that sort of change to happen. उसके अलावा एक और issue ये होता है कि when you take payment up front and you disperse payments, there is a certain credit period, right? Where the online store has perhaps delivered the product, they're out of pocket, and you hold their cash. And to get the cash over to them takes at least 5 to 7 days. It's very difficult to move cash around very quickly between different banks in Pakistan. So these are the sort of challenges that we have to solve before we can really work on buy now pay later or credit card and debit cards and other prepayment methods. I do think this will happen. There are lots of interesting innovations happening in the fintech space. So we're watching them closely, and I am pretty certain that eventually we will be integrated with all of these prepayment services. In fact, we're already integrated with them. They're good to go. It's just the problem is solving these two major issues that we highlighted, right? So it will happen. I think we'll probably give it a couple of months and perhaps maybe look into them then.
Yeah. Now, we're almost coming to an end. Obviously, the target behind this conversation is that whoever watches this has some things to take away, some things to learn. I'm sure there must be quite a bit of things that we discussed today, because the conversation is more like I'm talking to you. Maybe I'm trying to invest in as an investor or something, because they are the ones who do most of the grilling. I'm sure the pitches as well, they're not in this much of a detail as we have discussed. So do you have any message for people who are trying to do this, or is there any sort of, I know you are looking for some funding for expansion. Do you have any message before we close this?
Yeah, so I think a general high level overview is basic. So my startup ecosystem का क्या state है, and perhaps something that founders could benefit from, people looking into maybe getting into a startup or building a startup of their own. I would say this is a great time for building a startup. Even 2 years back, raising capital was a very difficult thing to do in Pakistan. I know because I raised capital 2 years back, and things are very, very difficult now. So अगर आप कोई founder है या एक potential founder है, you're looking to start something, I would say this is a great time. Come up with ideas that you feel have value, that you are obsessed about solving. That's very important, that you have a passion for solving that problem and you genuinely think it's a problem. Test your ideas very quickly. Do not build out full-fledged products without testing your ideas. Try and build some sort of product market fit with your MVPs, reiterate quickly and mature them instead of sort of hypothesizing something and then building a full-fledged product. And then when you have some sort of product market fit, you feel okay, you're solving some need in the market, then you can certainly reach out to investors. There are a tremendous number of investors now that are looking at Pakistan. It's very easy to raise money. So reach out to them, present your data and your MVP, raise some money, and then start scaling up. And this is obviously a very sort of high-level overview, very broad overview of what founders can do and how they can approach this. But I would certainly be happy to discuss things in more detail with founders. If they ever need any help, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Okay, that's great. So I think we'll call it a day here. You've got lots of stores on your on Shopsy as well. You probably come across a lot of people who do want to reach out and want to get some exposure. If there's anybody who wants to come on to Startup Talks and present themselves, they're more than welcome. All right.
Sounds great.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Osama. Thank you for being here on Startup Talks. I hope you have a great week ahead and best of luck with your venture then.
Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful speaking to you, and I look forward to watching more Startup Talks in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.